Hi, my name is Goddess Fiore and welcome back to my channel. We are back at my makeup mirror as I'm getting ready to record some videos, and I'm going to be talking about a couple topics here. Number one being mental illness and BDSM and Findom and Kink in general. So a while back I had somebody, just on the internet, anytime you put yourself out there, you're going to get trolls. It's to be expected. And this person left a comment saying, how can I call myself a Christian when I'm taking money from mentally ill men? I did a little short about it. And, I said how, I asked you guys how you felt, if you felt that you were mentally ill, if you indulge in financial domination. And that's not necessarily the case, but there definitely are some people who are mentally ill either before they started BDSM, or I personally think it can happen from exposing yourself to certain kinks and play and being dominated by certain people. So let me explain a little bit. One fetish that a lot of people have reached out to me for since I started doing this is human toilet, and also known as, let me see if I can say this right, coprophagia, and that's basically eating poo. It's very gross. I'm gonna do a whole video about this, but that is not a safe or sane thing to do, in my opinion, in any way, shape, or form. There is no way to do that safely or sanely, which is one of the frameworks that you should be following if you are engaging in BDSM practices. Like I said, I'm going to do a whole nother video about that because that's a whole nother issue. But basically, I've also had people, I had one person that reached out to me and wanted me to, and he reached out to several people because I saw other posts about this, but he reached out to several people and he was wanting them to give him instructions to cut off his private parts. I've also seen posts, and sometimes it's doms bragging about this, which is insane, but occasionally there are subs who are telling a dom that they want to take themselves out, shall we say, in order to give them more money. They're talking about putting the dom in their will and then taking care of themselves so that the dom can have more money. These things I would say are mental illness, because that is not okay to be doing. It's not a sane way to be functioning in life. And I had done, when I went to college for my degree, I did a lot of courses in psychology and abnormal psychology. And my thoughts are basically, when you're engaging in something that prevents you from functioning in life, it prevents you from having relationships or being able to work and make money for yourself or to function independently, basically. If you have something that's going on with you to the point where it's impacting that part of your life, that would be considered a mental illness, a problem. So if that's the case, those would all be problems, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. So I think if you are engaging in BDSM, you really want, I know men think with their pencil, okay? You guys don't really always think things through. You see a hot woman and you get all excited and you just throw all caution to the wind. But if you're not careful, that can really bite you in the ass, okay? And, especially with financial domination, because a lot of it is psychological play. If you are opening your mind and letting somebody into your mind who does not have good intentions, it can really mess you up, okay? I don't know specifically, but my guess would be that these people who are asking for some of these things that I've mentioned earlier, the human toilets and the talking about offing themselves or harming themselves, these people either were mentally ill to begin with, which might be part of it, or I believe that they might have become addicted to different kinks to the point where this is the point where they're at. So I don't support any of these things, and for me personally, I will not engage with subs that are even talking about these kinds of things. For me, it's instant block, and for any financial dominatrix, any dom, it should be instant block. These people need help, in my opinion. It's not funny, it's not okay, and it's not right to be taking advantage of people that are saying things like this. I feel very strongly about that. So I'm speculating here, but my speculation is that these people maybe started with something that was a little bit less harmful, and it kind of progressed into this. Maybe they were dealing with a dom who, you know, started them licking the toilet seat, and then it was, you know, licking their underpants, or I'm just speculating here. And then maybe, you know, licking somebody's butt, I don't know. So it kind of maybe progressed to the point where now they're actually consuming things that they definitely should not be eating, okay? That's kind of where I see maybe that this happened. And like I said, I'm going to do another video about that, about the danger, how dangerous that is and why. But my point is that you do have to be careful who you're letting into your mind, and you want to be sure that it's somebody that's going to treat you responsibly and is going to look out for you so that you don't end up in this situation doing things like that are very unhealthy and not safe for you to be doing, okay? Cutting body parts off and whatnot. That's not okay. And no dom should be asking you to do that. And especially when we are in these times where, you know, something goes viral on TikTok or Instagram, and then you have all these people who are trying to get a quick, easy cash grab from financial domination. And again, you know, I'm relatively new to Findom still. I'm still new, and I know that, but, you know, I'm taking the time to do my research, as everybody should. And I also have a lot of background in, like I said, psychology, abnormal psychology. I'm in healthcare, you know, so I pull from that experience as well. So these people that are asking for these things might be interacting with people who are new to BDSM, new to financial domination, don't know what they're doing, and don't care about you, and don't care the harmful impact that their actions could be having on people, if that makes sense. So you just, you know, you guys do what you want, but I just think it's really important to do your research and find a dom who you can tell knows what they're doing, has taken the time to do their research, is into following safe practices in BDSM, SSC, rack, and prick, who's familiar with those. If you engage with just anybody, you're putting yourself at risk financially, psychologically as well, is my point. It's not just about losing all your money, it's about affecting your mind in big ways too. The other thing I want to add to this is also hypnosis, which I'm going to be doing a couple videos, but this is also something that you want to be very careful with. A lot of people do it for fun and they enjoy it, but I've also heard people, there was one guy that messaged me on X and said that every time he hears a certain word, he sees like a purple couch with somebody watching TV or something. I mean, this stuff can really get in your head and really mess you up. Okay, so you want to be very careful what you're doing, what you're consuming, and that you're not going to end up hurting yourself. Like I said, not just financially, but psychologically as well. Anyways, thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to like the video. Feel free to leave a comment. Subscribe to my channel. I now have channel memberships. I try to talk a lot about kinks and fetishes that come up with Findom and how they work and what to expect. So thanks for watching.